From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Anne Nwawodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, death toll from Saturday's Stampede at Okija in Anambra State rises to 22. The state governor expresses grief over the incident. Vice President Kashim Shettima describes recent tragedies during sharing of food items to the less privileged in some parts of the country as a national tragedy. Dignitaries converge in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, for the launch of the Titi Tomori-Ponnle Foundation, which seeks to empower women and youth to reach their full potential. And over 94 persons have died since Cyclone Chad made landfall in Mozambique 1 week ago. Begin on a sad note tonight in Anambra State. In the aftermath of the stampede that occurred in Okija on December the 21st, 2024, the Commissioner of Police, Nahe Itam, has visited the hospital where the victims are receiving treatment, but stated that 22 people lost their lives. The police commissioner, while commiserating with the family and friends of the dead, wished the injured quick recovery. In a statement from the police public relations officer, Anambra State Command, Tochukwu Ikenga, investigations into the unfortunate incident are still ongoing. It adds that the police command remains dedicated to ensuring the safety of residents while responding to emergencies and protecting the vulnerable in society. Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured of the support of the federal government to families affected in Saturday's stampede in Anambra State and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, during the distribution of Christmas palliatives. In a condolence message signed by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Communication, Stanley Nkwocha, the Vice President expressed deep sorrow over the loss, just as he offered prayers and heartfelt condolences. He says, quote, "We stand ready to support the bereaved families through this difficult period, and no effort will be spared to provide the necessary assistance they need. We have directed relevant agencies to provide immediate support to affected families. To those currently receiving treatments in various hospitals, their recovery is our priority, and we will stand with them through this challenging time." 22 persons lost their lives in the stampede in Okija, while 10 persons died in Abuja at the annual Christmas food-sharing event at Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Maitama. The two incidents occurred 3 days after the stampede at the Islamic High School Bashorun in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where several children lost their lives at the holiday funfair celebration. To security matters, the Nigeria Police Force has debunked the report released by Amnesty International on the End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria on the ground that the report is inaccurate and misleading. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Dejobi, says that evidence available to the police indicates that certain elements infiltrated the protest with the intention of inciting violence, destroying public property, and endangering public safety, but the police responded with minimum force without the use of firearms to disperse such disruptive elements in accordance with the legal guideline.
The Nigeria Police Force categorically denies the allegations of excessive use of force as claimed by Amnesty International, as these claims are false, misleading, and an unfair misrepresentation of the actions and conduct of our officers. The Nigeria Police Force operates under the highest professional standards and remains fully committed to upholding human rights and the rule of law. Our officers deployed for protest management are regularly being trained in compliance with international human rights standards. While the Nigeria Police Force respects and recognizes the constitutional right of citizens to peaceful assembly and freedom of expression, it is equally charged with the responsibility of maintaining law and order. During the End Bad Governance protests, police officers were deployed to safeguard protesters, protect lives and property, and prevent disruptions caused by infiltrators seeking to hijack the demonstrations. Contrary to Amnesty International's claims, there is no credible evidence to support allegations of killings or excessive use of force by the police. Reports of officers firing live rounds at protesters or targeting unarmed civilians are baseless and were not corroborated by independent investigations.
The senator representing Niger East Senatorial District and the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Mohammed Sani, is asking security agencies to conduct a thorough cleanup of the troubled areas in Shiroro local government area of the state. Senator Sanu made this known against the backdrop of alleged planting of bombs by Boko Haram terrorists in parts of Shiroro, which has suffered several security challenges in the last decade. Speaking to Channels Television at the condolence visit to survivors of a recent bomb blast, Senator Sani emphasized the need for swift action to rid the area of explosive devices.
It was a Black Friday morning as 3 bomb explosions rocked Bassa community in Shiroro local government area of Niger State, resulting in the loss of 3 lives and the injury of 5 others. Bali Bassa, one of the 5 survivors on admission at the hospital, recounts the incident with an appeal that the community is in dire need of support and protection from the relentless terrorist attacks.
Gaskiya dai muna zama dai cikin riski wurin nan domin tun da dadewa dai mutanen ka suna damun mu wurin nan to sai kuma ran nan ba mu samu mu yi noman da muke noma a can wani gona ba sai muka yi noma a wani gona to ashe muna wuce gona a ran 8 na safe ashe sun sa bom a hanya mun ba mu sani ba.
The senator representing Niger East Senatorial District and chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance is urging security agencies to launch a thorough cleanup operation in Shiroro local government area in order to rid the area of explosive devices planted by terrorists who have been wreaking havoc in the region.
When I heard this, it was shocking because we've been able to curtail most of the atrocities these bandits are doing around that area. But surprisingly, somebody sneaked in and planted these bombs around the farm centers, around farms. And you can see the victims are all young children and very innocent people.
The council chairman of Shiroro local government area explains that residents have been advised to limit their movement to specific areas as he engages security agents to unearth bomb sites.
I'm appeal to the federal government to come to our end so that they can intervene on this situation that is happening. If you can look at it, our life is not safe. Even the 3 people that die, we cannot say it's something. But because we still believe that the bomb that is still on the ground, it may be more than 10. So we are appealing to the federal government to come to our end so that our people's life can be saved.
The recent bombings have sparked widespread concern, with many calling for increased security measures to protect locals who are predominantly farmers and now unable to cultivate their farms.
The federal government has lifted the ban on mining activities in Zamfara state, and this was disclosed by the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Mr. Dele Alake, during a press briefing in Abuja. According to him, the resolution was made after a thorough review of the security situation in the state, and due to noticeable improvement, the federal government deemed it fit to recall the earlier ban.
I have the honor and privilege to announce to you that the President has approved the lifting of the ban on mining exploration in Zamfara state. So we shall be communicating officially to the various agencies, the relevant agencies that are involved in the mining activities. The MCO, those to register or to grant titles. The NGSC, that's the Geological Survey Agency, those in charge of surveying the entire landscape of Nigeria to discover minerals and other rare earth elements. And you know, Zamfara is quite reputable for gold, lithium, and is a mineral-rich state. So the insecurities that we witnessed there were not surprising, actually. If you look at the landscape of Africa, everywhere you have a mineral-rich environment is usually associated with some kind of insecurity. But henceforth, the ban is now lifted, so we can begin to license legitimate operators for exploration in Zamfara State.
The 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has criticized the 2025 budget proposal, stating that it lacks the structural reforms and fiscal discipline needed to confront Nigeria's economic challenges. In a statement on Sunday, Mr. Abubakar expressed doubt about the budget's potential to drive sustainable growth and tackle persistent issues. President Bola Tinubu had presented the 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget to a joint session of the National Assembly, allocated the defense and then security. Part of Mr. Abubakar's statement reads, the administration must reduce inefficiencies, tackle inflated contracts, and focus on long-term fiscal sustainability instead of perpetuating unsustainable borrowing and recurrent spending. According to Mr. Abubakar, the 48 trillion naira budget with a revenue projection of 35 trillion naira leaves a deficit of over 13 trillion, approximately 4% of the GDP. He also criticized the planned VAT increase from 7.5% to 10%, labeling it a regressive move that will heighten economic hardship in the country. We head to Enugu State now, where the Governor Peter Mbah has pledged his administration's continued support to bolster University of Nigeria and Nsukka's capacity to fulfill the vision set forth by its founders. The governor was speaking at the conferment of Doctor of Laws degree on him by the institution in recognition of his contribution to advancing quality education in the state. Governor Mbah, who received the degree in law during the 53rd convocation ceremony of that university held in Nsukka, expressed his own commitment to transforming the education sector in Enugu State.
We are giving our children an education that will make them truly competitive in a fast evolving global workplace. The University of Nigeria has a motto that is quite enough to restore the dignity of man. It is gratifying that the acting Vice Chancellor and his team has remained committed to this ideal. I would like to reiterate that my government will support the University of Nigeria and Nsukka in critical sectors. To strengthen its capacity to attain growing successes in the best tradition for which the institution is renowned.
In part two, after the break, dignitaries converge in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, for the launch of the Titi Tomori-Ponnle Foundation, which seeks to empower women reach their full potential. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, reaching you live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. The death toll from Saturday's Stampede at Okija in Anambra State rises to 22. A state governor expresses grief over the incident. Vice President Kashim Shettima describes recent tragedies during sharing of food items to the less privileged in some parts of the country as a national tragedy. Dignitaries converge on Osogbo, the Osun State capital, for the launch of the Titi Tomori-Ponnle Foundation, which seeks to empower women and youth to reach their full potentials. And over 94 persons have died since Cyclone Chido made landfall in Mozambique 1 week ago. Former Deputy Governor of Osun State, Mrs. Titi Tomori-Ponnle, has launched the Titi Tomori-Ponnle Foundation, a transformative initiative designed to empower women and youth by providing them with entrepreneurial skills and the tools to start their own businesses. The launch took place on Saturday at Osun State University in Osogbo. It was attended by dignitaries including former governors, royal fathers, and business owners. The foundation, conceived by Ms. Tomori-Ponnle, aims to address unemployment and poverty by equipping beneficiaries with practical training.
Technocrats, scholars, and top government officials gather in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, for the launch of the Titi Tomori-Ponnle Foundation, aimed at empowering youth and women. Chief Bisi Akonde, Boego Yitola, Dr. Ajibola Bashiru, Erelu Bisi Fayemi, and other notable personalities are in attendance. The former governor of Osun State and national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Chief Bisi Akonde, is the chairman of the event. He comments the initiative.
It is a beginning of an opportunity for women and youth that comes from the selfless, benevolent part of your mind. I am excited that from the extra support of your gathering and acquisition, you want to create your own altruistic and patriotic time among the youth and the women within our society.
The founder, Mrs. Titi Tomori-Ponnle, highlights the foundation's mission to liberate women and youth from the cycle of poverty.
Throughout my career, especially drawing from my experiences as the Deputy Governor and Commissioner for Education in Osun between 2010 and 2018, I have seen firsthand the challenges facing the youth and women and their remarkable resilience in overcoming them. Also, I've witnessed the untapped potential within our communities, especially among the youths and women.
The keynote speech is delivered by Dr. Olushola Momo, the Vice Chairman of Channels Media Group. She speaks about the inclusiveness of women and youth in Nigeria.
Imagine a Nigeria where every woman has the confidence and resources to pursue her dreams, where every youth is equipped with the skills and knowledge to innovate and lead, and where communities thrive because their members are empowered to contribute meaningfully. This is the future the Titi Tomori-Ponnle Foundation envisions and should envision.
It's time for the guest lecture. Erelu Bisi Adele Fayemi delivered the paper titled Breaking Barriers, Empowering the Next Generation of Nigerian Women in Business and Public Life.
Every girl who is denied an education, every woman who is raped, tortured, or killed, every woman who is denied a seat at the table, every woman public and private takes us further away from the development, peace, and sanity we deserve as a nation. There can be no progress without women's full and equal participation in leadership and governance. Nigeria deserves better. Women deserve better. We will all be better off if we make this possible.
The foundation is focusing on empowering women and youth with entrepreneurial skills and tools to start up businesses after training by Obafemi Awolowo University Center for Entrepreneurial Development.
The Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, believes that the 2025 budget proposal presented to the National Assembly by President Bola Tinubu is a game changer that is designed to foster economic stability, sustainable development, and economic prosperity. The governor disclosed this at the APC party secretariat in Owerri, the Imo State capital, at the stakeholders meeting held to receive some decampees from the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party. Notable among the decampees are the Chief of Staff to the former Governor, Emeka Ihedioha, Chris Okewulonu, former Deputy Governor, Chief Candidate under the PDP, Chuma Naji. Our correspondent, Titi reports.
Members, leaders and supporters of the All Progressives Congress in Imo State gather at the party secretariat in Owerri, the Imo State capital, for a stakeholders meeting. The essence of this meeting is to receive some political bigwigs from other political parties in the state who have defected to the APC. Notable amongst the decampees are Chris Okewulonu, the Chief of Staff to former Governor Emeka Ihedioha, Chuma Naji, former Deputy Governorship candidate under the PDP, Tochi Okere, lawmaker representing Owerri North, Owerri Municipal, and Owerri West Federal Constituency. The APC State Chairman McDonald Ebere welcomes them to the party with his opening remarks.
So in APC, we do not know who entered the party today and who have been there ab initio. Whether you are entering today, or you were there yesterday, or you were there a day before yesterday, we are all equal in APC.
The defectors give reasons for their actions.
We are very happy. We are very pleased to find ourselves here. In writing my resignation letter, I had one man in mind. And I felt we have our brother that has done well as the governor of Imo State.
APC as a party was doing what they were doing. We were full of, we were not too surprised, because almost 90% of all the people in APC, especially in Imo State, even at the national level, they all have their parentage from the PDP.
Governor Uzodinma sees the carpet crossing as homecoming from the new members. He lauds their decision to join the APC, describing it as a testament to the party's growing popularity in the state.
If there's anything we have achieved beyond the material and some other tangible things, is that today the real estate owners and the political members of Imo people have again come together.
The meeting ends with a call for unity, commitment, and collective effort to support Governor Hope Uzodinma in his quest to deliver dividends of democracy to the people of Imo State. Channels Television News.
Well, earlier this week, the 2024 Crime Experience and Security Perception Survey had been released on the site of the National Bureau of Statistics, that's the NBS. There have been several concerns about the authenticity and the accuracy of this report. But after that release of the report, the NBS said that its site was hacked. Well, tonight, Babajide Ogunsanwo, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's data analyst, is here to share more insights on the situation surrounding this report and, of course, concerns by stakeholders and a lot of Nigerians when that report came. Thank you very much, Babajide, for joining us on the news at 10. It's just 3 days to Christmas. I mean, what is the crime experience and the security perception survey all about? And do we even have all the information about its release and what was approved by the National Bureau of Statistics as we speak?
First is 3 days to Christmas, a good way, just as you've explained it. And it's interesting to know that on this day, it's now 3.5 decades past the century, where exactly on this day in 1882, if I'm correct, the first electric Christmas tree was lighted by then Edward Johnson. He was an associate to Thomas Edison. But tonight, I'm not talking about Christmas trees and the illumination of Christmas trees. Actually, about the illumination of this report. This report was released by the National Bureau of Statistics. As at now, it hasn't come out to say that this report is fake. What it has said is that his site was hacked and that some information might not be accurate. Some information might be inaccurate, but exactly is this report false? The NBS hasn't said so. So the challenge we have is, in this report, the report makes it clear that, and he alleges that approximately, based on the survey, 2.2 trillion naira was spent in the last year on paying ransom. Why stakeholders are concerned, and is that 2.2 trillion naira payment for ransom is the equivalent of the Lagos State 2024 budget. In similar terms, in another way to look at it is that ransom payments might be Nigeria's 37 states. You heard me right. The Lagos State budget of 2024, 2.2 trillion naira. The ransom paid by Nigerians in the last 1 year, based on this report, if it is accurate, they say exact same amount. But there are challenges and there are reasons why some people are also concerned about the accuracy of this report. In other words, it is possible that this report might be fake. And these are the reasons why they are concerned. First is, within this report, we see a lot of AI-generated images. These images used within this report, as you can see in front of you, were blurred. You can see that police vehicle. Clearly, that's not a Nigerian police vehicle. Look at the plate number. Look at the uniforms on those men, AI-generated. Again, this picture comes from within the report. We clearly can look at the vehicle number, AI-generated. In simple terms, a lot of the pictures that were used in this report, AI-generated, fake. And because we see a lot of fake images used in this report, stakeholders are really concerned that if the images are fake, AI-generated, are we sure that the statistics are not fake? That's one. The second point is, this report talks about ransom payments between May 2023 and April 2024. In simple terms, this report is more or less saying crime since President Tinubu got into office. People are concerned that, will the NBS release a political motivated report? Also within this report, apart from ransom, it talks about bribery, it talks about several crime incidents that make stakeholders concerned about, is this report true or is it fake? However, as at now, the NBS site is still down, and in the last 4 days, they haven't really said anything about the authenticity of this report. That is the situation as at today.
But when you look at previous reports from the NBS, is this report consistent with those figures or with those reports that you've seen in the past?
So there are some reports that have come out from the NBS that the NBS has said this is clearly our report. One of that is the report of missing persons. And if you take a look at those statistics, the report from the Nigerian police in collaboration with the NBS, it allows us to answer the question Nigerians have asked: how many persons have been reported missing in Nigeria? And from the NBS report saying that it has information from the police, they say in 2020, 279 persons were reported missing. 2021, they say the number was 427 persons reported missing. And in 2022, they say the police say 206 persons were reported missing. And the challenge is, this report says that the number of households that reported kidnapped persons are into millions. And if we take a look and put this report from the police side by side with the report that has been alleged of ransom payments, we see totally different numbers. For instance, this report says the estimated number of households that have experienced kidnapping in Nigeria, 1.4 million. Average payments made per ransom, 2.7 million naira paid for ransom. So the challenge, Anne, is we have a report from the police that gives us one set of statistics, and this report gives us another set of statistics that are significantly different from each other. So we're still waiting for, will the NBS confirm that this report is from them, or will they say this report is not from them, or will they just stay quiet?
Well, as we gradually come to the end of 2024, are there other statistics, maybe from any other source, making it easy for analysts to actually know, make a reasonable judgment when it comes to the situation of ransom or even security matters in Nigeria?
So the first is, when it comes to security reports and surveys and opinion polls, one information must be present for it to have some sense of accuracy, and that is called the margin of error. Some other people call it like the sampling error. In this report, we have no mention of margin of error or sampling error, so it also gives us some doubt about, is this report half-baked, and was it leaked, is it incomplete? And hopefully we'll get that information later. However, sometime next week or within the next 2 weeks, we'll have perhaps a more balanced way. And we already have reports on how citizens perceive security in 2022, in 2023, and hopefully in 2024 we'll have that report. However, the Chief of Defense Staff recently commented on the complexity of security and defense in Nigeria. And if you take a look at that, it says, to end ransom payments, we must first end kidnapping. Then, to end kidnapping, we must end ransom payments. So it lets us understand that ransom payments and kidnapping is actually tricky. It's like the chicken and egg story that we always hear. You want to end ransom payments, you have to end kidnapping. You want to end kidnapping, you have to end ransom payments. So the outlook for 2025, even though we'll get into that hopefully next week, is that when this more balanced report comes out that allows us to compare the trends, we'll be able to know what's going on. But so far, 2023, in terms of citizens' perception about security, 2023 was a better year compared to 2022. The preliminary results we have for 2024 shows that it is likely that citizens perceive improvements in security in 2024 relative to 2023.
All right, we hope for a better 2025. Thank you very much. Founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's eternalist, Babajide Ogunso.
And those are the facts.
Thanks for your time on the News at 10. Still ahead on the News at 10, tributes are being paid to a 9-year-old boy who was killed in an attack in the German Christmas market. Please stay with us. Welcome back. The governor of Kaduna State, Mr. Obasani, has emphasized the need for the people of the state to live in peace and harmony, irrespective of their religious or tribal differences, in order to allow development to thrive. Governor Sani, who gave this advice at the Christmas carol held at the Ekwa Church in Narayi area of Kaduna, reiterated his commitment to run an inclusive government where every part of the state will be carried along without discrimination.
It is a special Christmas carol as Christians converge on the Ekwa Good News Church, Narayi and Kaduna South local government for the 2024 carol, which features special renditions and contemporary worship song. In the spirit of fostering unity, religious harmony, Governor Obasani, although a Muslim, graces the occasion. Accompanied by some aides, it is the second time the governor is attending the carol since he came into office last year. The governor, in his address to the congregation, assures them that under his administration, no part of the state, individuals or group will be marginalized on account of their faith or tribe. He also says that the era of Muslim-Christian dichotomy is over in Kaduna State under his leadership, just as he appeals to residents to embrace peaceful coexistence for the development of the state.
There can never be development without peace. And I'm happy and I want to thank you. Since I was elected, we have not experienced one single problem of either communal, religious, or tribal. That is why I made it clear to all of you when we came into power that I'm governor for everyone. Everyone that lives in Kaduna, whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, for me is something that we should always celebrate. Not for any other reason. That's the reason why God made Kaduna to be the most cosmopolitan state in the whole of Nigeria. Poverty have no religion. So we must work together.
Highlight of the carol is the presentation of the Holy Bible to the governor, as well as offering of special prayers for him and Kaduna State government.
But now we can gladly say there is a government, there is a state, and there is a government.
After participating in the Christmas carol, Governor Sani pledged to make himself available next year with a promise to sponsor the 2025 edition of the solemn event as part of his commitment to promote religious harmony in Kaduna State.
SG Holdings Limited, a prominent player in Nigeria's oil and gas industry, celebrated its 10th anniversary with a Thanksgiving service in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The event, held at the Egba Anglican Diocese Christ Church in Ijemo, brought together family members, management staff, business partners and other distinguished guests to express gratitude to God for his mercies and grace over the past decade.
The 10th anniversary Thanksgiving of SG Holdings was called to worship. As the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the company, Mr. Deji Shumoye, alongside his wife and family members, staff of the company, and the Alakio and Paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Aremu Gbadebo, amongst other guests, graced the occasion. It was a joyous occasion as the congregation gave glory and adoration to God for his faithfulness and mercy. The service also honored the families of departed members of the company who tragically lost their lives in a fire incident that affected SG Holdings 10 years ago.
Grace of God will be multiplied upon you.
The officiating minister, Bishop Pukwala James Afolabi, commended the chairman and management team of SG Holdings for their steadfastness and unwavering faith in God.
How can you thank God? One, you can thank God by the way you have been impacting the lives of people. May I encourage you, in the name of the bishop, to continue this.
The Thanksgiving service also featured the presentation of 9 youth identified for empowerment, part of SG Holdings' corporate social responsibility initiative aimed at improving livelihood.
That money that they gave me will go a long way in my business, because I've been hoping for something like that, but thank God, God really helped me with this SG Holdings Limited.
After the Thanksgiving service, guests were warmly hosted and entertained at the GRA residence of the Group Managing Director of SG Holdings. Mr. Shomoye with his wife and other dignitaries came together to cut the anniversary cake.
Congratulations. We are a product of grace, because when you look at our history, the trajectory, we shouldn't be where we are today, but here we are, thanking God, and with huge success. So we can't but continue to thank God and appreciate him. So coming here today, having this Thanksgiving service is just to show to God that we actually appreciate him.
God has been helping him, and he brings back that gratitude to God, and he's even using his foundation to help others. And it's a very good example. We are praying that others will copy him and be like him.
This milestone celebration not only marked a decade of achievement for SG Holdings, but also reaffirmed the company's commitment to community development and corporate responsibility.
To more company news, Grand Oak Limited, through its brand Isiago Cafe Liquor, has kept its own promise to support some Easterners to achieve their desire to honor their tradition and contribute to the spirit of unity and togetherness that define the Christmas and New Year celebrations. 10 winners have emerged in the Isiago Cafe Liquor Homecoming campaign, which not only cushions the air travel expenses, but also promotes the emotional significance of reconnection during the Yuletide.
Grand Oak Limited, makers of Isiago Cafe Liquor, called on its teeming consumers and fans to join in the Ilulo, that is homecoming campaign, to support Igbos traveling to the southeast for the holidays in order to promote family reunions. The campaign, open to 18 years and above, required a short video from participants on the unique thing about their community and why they need a homecoming, highlighting family values, and shared on social media handles of Isiago Cafe Liquor. After a review of the several entries received, 10 persons with the most engaging videos have been selected. This gathering is for Grand Oak Limited to fulfill its promises to the winners. Senior Brand Manager Nena Uche Onyenacho speaks on the objective of the homecoming campaign.
We looked at one of the important things to the Igbos, and we realized that homecoming holds a very huge significance to them, it's very important to them. And we said, what do we do to make sure that the Easterners, who are the owners of this brand, have the opportunity to travel home, even though the fares are expensive. And we ran this campaign, we created awareness, and you sent in your videos.
The elated winners, 8 of whom were present, danced as they file out to collect their return tickets to their home states.
I like that.
Aside from the return ticket, each winner is going home with a carry-on travel bag, food items, cases of Isiago Cafe Liko to enjoy with family and friends, and a memorable experience of luxury airport drop-off and pick-up.
Last time I went to was 2 years ago. Our thanks to Isiago Cafe Liko for making me to experience and to be part of the Ofala Igwe 2024.
To visit my hometown via flight is an amazing opportunity for me. I feel very happy.
It has been long. I went to for about 3 years now because of transportation. I don't have enough money. But I am grateful for this Isiago opportunity they have given to me to go home and to meet my loved ones.
Isiago is a proud Eastern brand. Isiago speaks to resilience, it speaks to tenacity, it speaks to bravery. The name Isiago is very culturally attuned, and because of that we looked at the Easterner. How can we connect with them emotionally and provide an experience for them?
The tickets for the winners in the Isiago Cafe Liko homecoming campaign will be valid from December 23rd, 2024 till the end of January 2025.
Well, exciting news there. And as the Christmas celebrations kick in, residents of Kano in northwest Nigeria have been grappling with the high cost of living. In this next report, our correspondent Nanchin Vincent feels the pulse of the residents of Kano State during this festive season.
Since the beginning of the year 2024, the fuel pump price has risen from 650 naira per litre to 1,150 naira per litre, leaving Nigerians to grapple with the high cost of livelihood from services to food items. Nothing has been spared in terms of high prices.
Food price have gone astronomically high. They're not what we used to have. As you can see, our common staple foods like beans that used to be for, that we know are eaten by low-income earners. These days are now for the so-called big men. Even the low-income earners cannot afford price of stuff like beans any longer. Yam, rice, and so on. Eggs, everything has just gone so high.
These lamentations has also seen the federal government increasing the country's minimum wage from 33,000 naira to 70,000 naira. The question, however, is, will this bring the necessary succor to civil servants?
Considering the economic situation people are facing, people are making it very difficult to earn a living. And if you compare the current salary status of the entire civil servant, it's too negligible to meet the living standard we are facing now. And His Excellency, the Executive Governor, out of sympathy, just increased the salary at a time when the civil servant needed it the most.
For other Kano residents outside the civil service, spending during the Yuletide season may involve some level of strategy.
This Yuletide is going to be different. We eat what we have, we drink what we have, and we wear what we have. Nothing more. No special preparations. Things have changed.
people have learned to adjust. Going by the previous celebration we've had, people would not want to do more than they can do because January is coming and they have to pay school fees. So everything is on low profile.
An economic expert, Professor Shehu Musa, however, believes the government needs to do much more in terms of creating employment opportunities in various sectors of the economy.
The best way, I think, for government to act in such a way that the common man will feel the impact is to speed up all activities in relation to agriculture.
As the year comes to a close, most Nigerians are hoping that the federal government policies will eventually translate to a more prosperous society for all. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
Let's delve into the world of sports. It's a stalemate in Accra as the Super Eagles Team B battled for a goalless draw against Ghana Black Galaxies in their African Nations Championship qualifiers, and this happened earlier this evening. The goalless draw is the best result Nigeria has earned against Ghana away in any qualifying contest for the African Nations Championship, with the Eagles losing 2-3 to their hosts in 2008 and then getting spanked by 2 goals in 2022. The second leg will hold at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo this Saturday, December the 28th, with the winner on aggregate picking a ticket to the 8th African Nations Championship taking place in Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda from February the 1st through to the 28th, 2025. Remo Stars are back on the top of the Nigeria Premier Football League following a 2-0 win against Bayelsa United at the Remo Stadium in Ikenne, Ogun State. This win moves the Sky Blue Stars top on the 33 points with a superior goals difference to second place Rivers United, who are also on 33 points after losing and forcing Nasarawa United to a 1-1 draw in Lafia. Shooting Stars of Ibadan stunned reigning champions Rangers International by a lone goal at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu. As for Abia Warriors, they beat Ikorodu City 2-0 in another matchday 18 clash. We head to England now, where Liverpool extended their lead at the top of the English Premier League table to 4 points with a game in hand, thanks to the Reds' 6-3 win against Tottenham at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium earlier today. Earlier also, Manchester United crashed to a humiliating 3-0 home defeat to Bournemouth, as manager Ruben Amorim admits his nervous team will have to suffer before they can get back on track. Wolves boss Victor Pereira also enjoyed a dream debut as his side won 3-0 at relegation rivals Leicester, as Enzo Maresca's Chelsea had to settle for a goalless stalemate that ended their own 5-match winning run in the league. Bottom of the table, Southampton held on a 0-0 draw at Fulham, as new manager Evan Jarrett watched from the stands. Away from sports now, it's been a somber Sunday for many Germans today, still reeling at the aftermath of an accident that killed 5 people, including a 9-year-old boy, and injured more than 200 others at a Christmas market on Friday evening. German authorities are facing questions about security and what they knew of the suspect accused of using an access lane for emergency vehicles when the accident occurred. The suspect has been ordered into pre-trial detention on counts of murder, attempted murder, and dangerous bodily harm.
The suspect, a 50-year-old who labels himself as both a psychiatrist and founder of a Saudi rights movement, has a history of anti-Islamic rhetoric and was arrested at the scene following a 3-minute attack. His motives remain unclear, but Saudi authorities are said to be currently working to collate everything they have on the suspect, identified later as Taleb al-Abdul Mohsen, and would share it with Germany's ongoing investigation. The Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Riyadh says it had previously warned the German government about al-Abdul Mohsen's extremist views. A look at his social media account suggested he supported anti-Islam and far-right parties, including the Alternative for Germany, AFD, and criticized Germany for its handling of Saudi refugees. Taleb Al-Abdul Mohsen was granted asylum by Germany in 2016, 1 year after the former Chancellor Angela Merkel threw open her country's borders to let in more than 1 million migrants from the Middle East, and 10 years after Al-Abdul Mohsen had taken up residence in Germany. The incident has shaken residents of Magdeburg. Many describe it as sad and unbelievable. Chancellor Olaf Scholz visited the central German city on Saturday, voicing his sympathy and support for the victims. He called on the nation to stand together against hate. Later in the evening, a large crowd gathered outside the Magdeburg Cathedral, with people holding candles and grieving while watching the church service held outside on a large video screen. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and Saxony-Anhalt State Premier Rainer Hasselhoff also attended the service.
Sind wir heute Abend hier im Magdeburger Dom.
The attack has stirred anti-immigration sentiments in some parts of Germany as concerns over security heightens. Authorities are choosing, however, to focus on dispelling fear about another attack either at the Christmas market or elsewhere. Visitors to the market are upset about the car ramming incident, but say it would not stop them from visiting the market.
Another sad incident. At least 94 people are known to be dead in the wake of Cyclone Chido in Mozambique. The country's National Institute of Risk and Disaster Management says that 768 people were injured and more than 622,000 people have been affected by the natural disaster in some capacity. Chido hit Mozambique on December the 15th with winds of up to 260 km per hour and 250 mm of rainfall in the first 24 hours. The same cyclone had first wreaked havoc in the French Indian Ocean territory of Mayotte, and that's before moving to Mozambique, Malawi, and Zimbabwe. And the main news again. The police in Anambra State today confirmed that the death toll from Saturday's stampede at Okija has risen to 22, just as the state governor expressed grief over the incident. And we also informed you that dignitaries converged on Osogbo, the Osun State capital, where the Titi Tomori-Ponnle Foundation for Women and Youth Empowerment was launched. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Mwawadu. Have a wonderful night rest and Happy New Week.